You're welcome. You are welcome. You're welcome to my channel. Okay, as usual, Oyabo's channel. But today we are looking at something very unique. We're still following up in the series that we just started on idea generation. Okay, so today is the 5th video that we have on idea generation, and I believe that with the earlier ones you've watched, you've already started generating your business idea. So today I'm going to be giving you the 5th thing you need to do that could help you generate a good and laudable idea. Now this 5th thing, join me as we get into this 5th point that will help you generate your idea properly. You're welcome back. So the 5th point is experience. Okay, draw from experience. That's the 5th point. And then basically you need the experiences of 3 persons in order to generate this business idea. The first person is that you need your own experience. The second one is that you need this experience of other people. It could be your friends, family, and all whatnot. And then the third one is that you need the experience of successful business persons, the people that have succeeded in that area of business you are thinking of getting into. Now let's look at yourself first of all. You need your own experience because if there are some challenges you've encountered in life, you shouldn't be complaining about this challenge over and over and over again. You should think about the solution to that problem. And I want you to know that that problem that you've complained all the while, there are other people that have also complained in the same manner. Then what they need is the solution. So if you can provide solution to that very challenge, assuming in your neighborhood, let's take for instance, they don't have lavatories in your neighborhood, it's always pressed, and then they keep complaining there's no place to ease ourselves and all the rest of them. You can also get a movable toilet or something that could help and solve that particular problem. Okay, so that's it for your own experience. Now the experiences of your neighbors, your friends and family matters also. Are there things that your friends and family they've seen, they've encountered over and over? You can find a solution to that problem, and by so doing you will get a business idea. And remember, business is not just about starting something, it's about starting something that will meet the need. And once you can meet the need of people, they will keep coming and coming back to you, and by so doing you would maintain the customer demand, and that's actually business. Okay, now the third one is gathering experience from people that have succeeded in that line of business. Okay, so I'm going to be giving you some questions you can ask people that have succeeded in that line of business. The first one you could ask them is, what kind of idea did your business start with? Now you could get to you could get to any other person that succeeded in his or her own business line, and then you're going to ask the person, did you actually start this way in the first place, or was there an idea you caught, and while you were trying to meet up and then give people what they need in that direction, you now saw that there is an opportunity in this area? So you need to ask them this kind of question. Another one is that you're going to ask them, where did you pick your idea from? Was it someone that shared an idea with you? Sometimes you could be discussing with someone. I've seen some business ideas, not necessarily because I sat down to think about them, but maybe I was discussing with someone and the person just said something like a light bulb. I picked the idea, so it could come that way. So you could ask the person, how did you even generate this particular idea that is making your business succeed? And then you're going to ask the person, how did you develop that idea into a successful business? In the next series after idea generation, we're going to be talking about model canvas. Model canvas is what anybody that wants to get into any business at all, you must learn how to use model canvas to interpret your business idea until it fits into the model canvas properly. It's not yet a good business idea. Now the next one is, how does the business profit and fit into the local environment? You need to know how this business, how profitable it is, because you could be looking from a very far end and you think, wow, with so much money and all the rest of them, but that may not really be the reality on ground. So these are some of the questions you can ask the individual. And then, how did you get your funding? this is also something that could help you. Now you check all these answers and see if you can also access the same thing and the person was able to access. If you're not able to get them, then it's possible that you may not scale through. And apart from that, they could also tell you the ones that they failed, where they failed. And if they tell you where they failed, think about those things and see if you could find a way out of it before you get into that business, before you know that, wow, this business idea works. So now I've just given you some questions you could ask this successful business person, but very importantly, I'm going to give you an example of a business interview that was conducted and the kind of responses that this person got. Okay, now this is business idea analysis form. And once I'm done with this person's experience, okay, I'm going to give you an empty sheet for you to also fill your own. So whatever business idea you have, you're going to analyze it with this form and know if it works being a business, a profitable business, someone that is successful in a particular business. And I'm going to tell you the questions I asked the person and then the person's responses. Now the name of the business is Hamisis Packaging and Moving. That's the name of the business. Now the goods or the services they render is a full package of home and office moving services. That's the package they have. And then when and why did the owner decide to start the business? First of all, I'm going to tell you what's the okay. Then the third question I asked the person is the person's main customers. Now it says individuals and businesses who need to change their home or office location. Now that's the business. Here they are interested in helping people move their home or their office location from where they are at the moment to where they intend to relocate to. Okay. Now the when and why did the owner decide to start this business? First of all, Hampshire started his business in 2010 when he needed to earn extra income. While helping his aunt move to a new house, he found that moving was a very big job and that there was no packaging and moving company in the area. Also, he had some experience in handling, in storing and transporting goods, and he had gained while working with a gas importing company. Why did the owner think it was a good idea to start that kind of business? So why did the owner think it was a good idea to start that kind of business? Now he said, my business did some market research and learned that a considerable number of people in this area move their homes and offices frequently. They all complain that moving is a formidable task and that there is no packaging and moving services in town to assist them. Okay, now the next question I asked was, how did the owner find out what his potential customers wanted? Now said, he talked to lots of friends, relatives, owners of businesses, and neighbors. Okay, now the next one is, what strengths and or assets did the owner use to start his business? See, you need to be sure you have some strengths and assets. We're going to treat SWOT analysis later on, but not for today. So you're going to look at your strengths before you know if it works getting into that business. Now, his previous experience, he said his previous experience mattered so much. The things he did in the company he worked for before and the things he had been doing for his aunt really helped him. Those experiences were worthwhile, so it was an asset to him. And then I also asked what problems he faced when he was kicking off with the business. And then he also said marketing, making people to trust that he could deliver, especially people that don't know him from anywhere, was actually a challenge. Asked him if the business had expanded over the years, and he responded in the affirmative, because he said earlier on he was actually hiring van, but now he has his own van, and not just one but two van, and then he has been able to also employ about 3 persons, unlike earlier on when he started with just himself. So, and then the impact on the environment, very important. He said he uses reusable cartons to move this thing, so when he's done moving, the cartons are still there to reuse them, so he doesn't need to dispose them, get a new one, and then constituting environmental waste in the area. So these are the questions that you could also copy from these questions I've given you and ask the person. So I'm going to be showing you a form on the screen that you can ask these questions, and then make sure because you could tell yourself that yes, when I get there I know what to ask, but you find out that when you get there you will miss some questions. So you could go with a kind of a form or a sheet having these questions where you could fill in this person's experiences. Now when you are done with filling the experiences, the next thing to do is to having listened to these 3 persons, you need their ideas. You need to get experience from that, you, your friends and family, and then successful business persons. You're going to do something. You'll meet the successful business person, but before you do that, I want you to get a plain sheet. Now in that plain sheet, I want you to first of all find out some successful businesses in your area. Could you pinpoint some successful businesses in your area? And then once you've done that, I want you to think of 3 businesses in that your local area that you consider to be successful. Out of the many that you've written out, just consider just 3 that you consider to be successful. Now write down those 3 and write down why you think they are successful. When you're done writing down why you think they are successful, then you're going to go to them, get to them and find out why they are successful, and then think about the factors that have made this business idea a good one, why it has become successful. And then once you're done, remember I've given you a question, a kind of a question sheet that you go with. Now once you're done with that, ask yourself, what lessons can you draw from that interview that you've conducted? The next one is, what mistakes do you think those people have made in the past that by interviewing them you have learned not to make that mistake? The next one is, how can you avoid such mistakes? And then what do you think made that business to succeed? Once you're done doing this, kudos. Well, I could hear someone saying, how will I even be able to get to some of these guys? They are big in quotes, I may not have access to them. Now, if you're used to watching some videos, be it on YouTube, on Facebook, on social media, and even on television, you will see some interviews that those guys have granted. If not interview, you could see some things that they have written in the past, and it's been uploaded to Google. So now you can Google their names, and then Google will bring out things about them that you didn't know earlier on. So with those things, you will be able to also fill in the forms that I'm showing you now. You'll be able to fill in the forms rightly, and with that you can now make your judgment about the business idea to actually go for. If a particular business, after your interview, you found out that business is really challenging for the person, and the person have not been able to beat the challenge, if you don't have a solution, don't get into that business. It's not, even if it's for you, it's not yet time you get into it. Until you find solution, there's no need of dabbling into another problem that could make you get frustrated and get out of business. So that's what we have for you on the 5th point that could help you generate your idea. Gather, draw from experience. That's all we have for you today. I want to believe you picked something from today's video, and it's going to help you to find and generate the best of ideas that will help you run your business. So I want to see in the comment section what you think about this particular factor that could help you generate your business idea. So that's all we have for you today. Bye, and do have a lovely evening.